The CFO didn't wait for Victoria to sit down. His voice came through the speakerphone tight, strained, stripped of its usual polish. Victoria. The man you had removed from the Four Seasons this morning. She leaned back in her chair, annoyed. Yes? I told Jenny to delete his information. There was a pause. Too long. That man, he continued slowly, was Darien Cole. Silence. Victoria frowned. And? Another pause. This one heavier. And Darien Cole manages Cole Ventures. 3.8 billion in assets. 47 portfolio companies. 43 successful exits. Victoria laughed once. Short, sharp, disbelieving. You're joking. I wish I were. Her fingers tightened around the edge of the desk. That's not possible. He was wearing, she stopped herself, cleared her throat. Why wasn't this flagged? It was, the CFO said. Your assistant sent you the briefing 3 weeks ago. He was scheduled to discuss a potential $500 million Series C, $500 million. The number hit her chest like a dropped weight. That's our entire runway, she whispered. Yes. Victoria stood so fast her chair slammed into the glass wall behind her. No, she said, shaking her head. No, no, no. That can't be him. I've already confirmed, the CFO replied quietly. Forbes profile. Wall Street Journal. Davos panels. He flew in this morning specifically to meet you. The room felt smaller. The view she loved so much blurred at the edges. What do we do? She asked. On the other end of the line, the CFO exhaled. I don't know if there is a do anymore. The call ended. Victoria stared at her phone. Then she dialed, straight to voicemail. She tried again. Voicemail, her breathing quickened. She typed an email, fingers clumsy, words rushed. Mr. Cole, I believe there has been a terrible misunderstanding this morning. I would greatly appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. She deleted it. Typed again. Please allow me to apologize in person. Send. She paced. Dialed again. Blocked. Her chest tightened. For the first time in her career, power slipped out of her hands and she could feel it. Across the country, Darien sat in his apartment overlooking Manhattan. The city pulsed below him, alive, unbothered. His assistant stood nearby, tablet in hand. She's calling again, Priya said gently, and emailing. Darien didn't look up. Cancel my meetings for tomorrow, he said. And book nothing with Ashford. That's 500 million, Priya said softly. Darien finally looked at her. No, he corrected. That's a boundary. He stood, walked to the window. I didn't build this to beg for respect, he said. I built it so I'd never have to. Back in San Francisco, Victoria didn't sleep. She refreshed her inbox until dawn. At 6:14 a.m., her phone buzzed. A news alert. Sources: Ashford Technologies nears funding collapse after investor incident. Her blood ran cold. By 8 a.m., her board chair was calling. Did you have a black investor removed from a hotel lobby? He demanded. It was a misunderstanding, was it? He snapped. Because Klaus just called me. He watched the whole thing. He said you refused to shake his hand. Victoria swallowed. He said that man was Darien Cole, the chair continued. And that if this is how you treat people, he wants nothing to do with this company. The line went dead. By noon, 3 board members had resigned. By 3 p.m., her PR team was in crisis mode. By 6 p.m., she was alone in her office, staring at the city she once believed belonged to her. That night, she booked a red-eye to New York. She didn't sleep on the plane. She rehearsed apologies in her head. I was wrong, I made assumptions. I didn't know, but none of them felt big enough. At 9:02 a.m., she stood in the marble lobby of Cole Ventures. The receptionist looked up. Do you have an appointment? No, Victoria said. Her voice cracked. But I need to see Darien Cole. I'm sorry, the receptionist replied kindly. He's in meetings all day. I'll wait. She sat. Minutes passed. Then hours. People walked by. Some recognized her. Some whispered. At noon, she ordered flowers. Wrote a note with shaking hands. I judged you before knowing you. I'm deeply sorry. At 1:47 p.m., the receptionist approached again. He'll see you, she said. 15 minutes. Victoria stood, dizzy with relief. The conference room was quiet, minimal, clean. Darien sat at the table, relaxed, calm, grounded. He didn't stand. Ms. Ashford, he said evenly. Sit. She did. I want to apologize. He raised a hand. No, he said. I want to be clear first. He leaned forward. You keep saying you didn't know who I was. She nodded. That's not the problem, he said. The problem is you decided I didn't belong before I spoke. Her eyes filled. If I'd been white, he continued, in a suit, would you have called security? She couldn't answer. That silence? He said softly. That's the truth. Tears slid down her face. I was wrong, she whispered. I was biased, and I'm ashamed. Darien leaned back. I'll invest, he said. Her head snapped up. On conditions, anything. He slid a document across the table. Public apology. Independent cultural audit. Board diversity requirements. $5 million donated from her personal wealth. Mandatory bias training. And her resignation as CEO. Victoria stared. Her entire identity sat on that paper. Yes, she said. Darien nodded. This isn't forgiveness, he said. It's accountability. 2 days later, cameras flashed. Victoria stood at a podium, hands shaking. I committed an act of racial profiling, she said into the microphones. There is no excuse. The internet exploded. Praise, rage, debate. She stepped down within the month. Marcus Brooks became CEO. The company survived. 6 months later, Ashford Technologies looked different. More voices, more color, more listening. 1 year later, revenue doubled. 5 years later, Ashford became a case study in business schools. Darien's fund grew to $250 million dedicated to black founders. Victoria taught 1 class a semester, bias and leadership. She never asked for applause. 1 year to the day after the incident, Darien walked back into the Four Seasons. Victoria was waiting. She extended her hand. He took it. Not because he had to, but because it meant something now. Respect wasn't given that day. It was earned slowly, painfully, honestly. And that made all the difference.